Hello, everybody. Welcome to Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Joshua.
I'm Nibras.
I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. Welcome, everybody, to Youth Connect. I hope you guys are excited for another amazing episode. For those that don't know what in the world Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that was created during the pandemic for the community, by the community. We are all advocates of ability, and we are broadcasters, entertainers, and we want to be in acting, directing, writing, and be hired as speakers. Many of us already have our own podcasts, YouTube channels, websites, and even their own music. Youth Connected is a show that I know that you are going to love. Now, the first thing that we have to do with Youth Connect always is if you heard my other co-hosts, Kevin, Joshua, Nibras, and Jeffrey, we have to first do the first thing of Youth Connect, which is gaming news. So the first person that has to go for Youth Connect is myself. And I'm bringing you some video game news. Now, if you've watched the show before, you know that the first thing that we always have to do is our Spotlight Game of the Week. Now, what in the world is that? Well, basically, it's a game that is coming out, is already out, or soon releasing that I want to shine the light on. And today's game is called Sonic Frontiers. This game has gotten a huge bunch of things. I just want to say here, guys, before I even discuss about the information on it, I have myself played this game, and I must say that you need to give this game a little bit of a chance. I played for the first 15 to 30 minutes of the game, and I wanted to refund it almost immediately because it was a bit clunky. But I need you guys to know, after that 30 minutes, the game becomes really fun and is all enjoyment, is really just a joy to play when I play it by myself. And honestly, the skill tree system is really fun. But you want to know a bit about it? Worlds are colliding in the Sonic the Hedgehog's newest high-speed adventure. In search of the missing Chaos Emerald, Sonic becomes stranded on an ancient island teeming with unusual creatures. You must battle powerful hordes of enemies as you explore a breathtaking world of action, adventure, and mystery. You can accelerate to new heights and experience the thrill of high-velocity, open-zone platforming freedom as you race across 5 massive Starfall Islands. Jump into adventure, wield the power of the ancients, and fight to stop these new mysterious foes. Welcome to the evolution of Sonic games. So I just want to tell you guys, this is not Breath of the Wild, but instead a combination of multiple things. It has its awesome gameplay advantages of the original Sonic games with their 2D versions of stages. They mostly include stages of Sonic Adventure 2 inspired. I say that this game is actually really good. You just need to give it a chance because honestly, at first I didn't give it a chance, but once I did, it really was fun. So if you're a Sonic fan and you're wondering, is this game really worth it? To be honest, it's way better than Sonic Forces. And trust you me, that's the bottom of the barrel. And trust you me, Sonic Frontiers definitely raises above that. And I recommend that you check out Sonic Frontiers. It is releasing on PS4, Nintendo Switch, and wherever you find your Sega-type games. Anyways, though, next up is Kevin, and Kevin has with us some all-important news.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. You are tuned into Youth Connect with me, Kevin Aruja. So now, let's go to our headlines. Ford said Ontarians should wear a mask when they can amid rising COVID-19 cases. Go Transit workers reach tentative agreement with Metrolinx, ending a 4-day strike. Ontario is still deciding if it will help Toronto's 2026 World Cup. And Kenny Cherry ready for help Canada solidify spots at FIBA World Cup. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is encouraging Ontario residents to wear a mask whenever they are in a situation that is less safe, but stop short of committing in any sort of renewal of mask mandates in the province. We said from day one, I'll always listen to Dr. Moore's advice, and the advice he's giving everyone, I'll give them the same thing. Wear a mask where you can wear when you can wear it when you are within risk. Ford made a comment in an announcement about the building of a new highway near Brantford Wednesday morning in response to a question about whether the province might be implementing masking in education settings. The premier would not say whether the government right entertain bringing back masks in schools, but encourage people to go to get their flu shots and their COVID-19 booster shots. He implored those are not most at risk for severe health outcomes to consider masking up the risk mandates for in the province. Go buses will soon back on the road after the union representing operators and other transit workers reached a tentative agreement with Metrolinx on Thursday. The new deal between the transit agency and the amalgamated transit union Local 1597 ended a strike that began on Monday, which led to the suspension of a Go bus service across the Golden Horseshoe region. The new contract came hours after talks between the union and Metrolinx resumed on Thursday afternoon. The Ontario government said it has not yet decided if it will put part of a bill that Toronto is asking to host the men's FIFA World Cup in 2026. We will look at the finance. Hopefully, we'll be able to come up with the answer sooner than later, said Premier Doug Ford. I understand the clock is ticking. Toronto was selected in June as one of the 16 host cities of the expanded 2026 tournament, which has been jointly hosted by Canada, the United States, and Mexico. City staff initially estimated the cost of hosting several World Cup games was $219 million. However, this past summer, that number increased to $300 million due to rising inflation rates, staff said. The city is hoping that the federal government and the province will pick up two-thirds of the total, or about $184 million. And on sports, guard Kenny Cherry is training with his Canadian national teammates, getting ready to face Venezuela and Panama at FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Cherry is one of the era-based veterans who make up the majority of the Canada squad that faces Venezuela Thursday at Panama, Sunday at the Edmonton Expo Center. With the NBA in full swing, no Canadians playing in the world's biggest league are available, so the Canadian side is stuck with the veterans playing their trade across the Atlantic. Canada is an 8 out of 0 in America's zone qualified play, but win and clinch at the spot at the next summer's World Cup, to be hosted by Indonesia, Japan, and the Philippines. And Canada has already likely done enough to qualify, even if the team was to lose the rest of its qualifying names. The Canadians would also need every other result on the out-of-town scoreboard to go against them to miss the World Cup. And on weather, today and tomorrow we'll have a period of rain and chance of showers, while sitting at the high to 10 to 15 degrees. Nights will be cooler with temperatures ranging from 1 to 6 degrees. Sunday bringing chance of flurries. Yes, it's coming. So next week, though, it will be a mix of sun and clouds. And now, today is Remembrance Day, and although it's a bit late in the day, I thought I would speak about it in my interesting fact of the week. So, Remembrance Day, also known as Poppy Day, is a memorial day celebrated in Commonwealth countries such as Great Britain, Australia, and Canada. Is celebrated every year on November 11th. It means that marks the anniversary of the when World War I ended. It ended on November 11th, 1918 at 11 a.m., which is why many people hold a 2-minute silence at 11 a.m. on this day. The war has also officially ended with the singing of the Armistice, which is why the day was also called Armistice Day. Remembrance Day gives people the chance to remember those who fought and lost their lives during the war and honor the memory. It does make sure that we never forget the past and that those who died didn't die in vain. It's all about memory during the World War I. There were around 20 million deaths and 21 million wounded in both the armed force and civilian communities. Therefore, Remembrance Day is the day to honor and remember the lives and their sacrifices. There are lots of people, different ways. There's a lot of different ways to celebrate Remembrance Day and remembering the soldiers from the First World War, including wearing poppies. They wear poppies in November in honor of the soldiers because who fought on the battlefield. Because poppies have become an important symbol for the war because the flower grew in Flanders. Belgium, where important battles were fought. And ceremonies. On November 11th, there are ceremonies and memorial services at war memorials and churches. These ceremonies have grown to remember all people who have died in wars during the World War II and the Iraq wars, not just the World War One. And third was listening to real life stories. A great way to honor the soldiers who fought in World War One is to listen to their stories and their experience. Alternatively, watching interviews with people who lived through the First World War is another way to learn about firsthand experience. With that, we come to the end of my segment. Tune in next week for another segment of news, weather, and of course, an interesting fact. And now, over to Aiden's gaming news.
All right, Kevin. Thank you so much for your news. I actually really enjoyed all the news that you talked about. Now, I don't know too much information about the buses, but I remember they're going on strike, and I'm really glad that they're slowly but surely going to implement the buses back in. And I also really like your talk on Remembrance Day. It's always great to talk about it. I actually talked to a group of students actually today about the importance of the poppy, because you know what? A lot of people only think about Remembrance Day as one day, but it's always important to remember that the poppy is such an important symbol of world peace. And I don't know. I really enjoyed your news. And what about everyone else? What did everyone else think of Kevin's news?
Yeah,
I think it was all very interesting.
Yeah.
yeah. Good job, Josh. I mean, good job, Kev. I loved your stories. Very nice.
Honestly, though, Kevin, thank you so much. It's always
Very
great to hear about the news, and it's always good to hear about the weather. I'm sad that it is kind of rainy out today, so I really hope that it brightens up soon. But anyways, now to move on to the second gaming news, I want to talk about something that's very important. Oh goodness, I think there is a small delay here and there. It's fine. Anyways, for the second gaming news, I want to talk about something that's quite shocking. Did you guys know that recently Animal Crossing New Horizons is now reportedly the best-selling video game of all time in Japan? So that's according to the Game Data Library, a website which collates Japanese sales data. And according to the website, the New Horizons has now sold 10.45 million copies in Japan, surpassing the long-time record held by the original Pokemon Game Boy titles Red and Green. Guys, that is absolutely shocking that a Game Boy game released so long ago held its place with 10.23 million people buying it. But Animal Crossing sadly has and overpassed the classic video game Red and Green with 10.45 million copies. Now, the Nintendo Switch Animal Crossing title has achieved the feat despite only releasing 2 years ago, guys. 3 of the other 4 titles in Japan's top 5 were released over 20 years ago, which include Pokemon Gold and Silver and Super Mario Bros. Did you guys know that the 5th best-selling game in Japan is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which released on the Nintendo Switch in 2018, which was only 4 years ago? In total, 6 Switch games make up the top 20, including Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3. But according to Nintendo's latest sales numbers released this week, Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold 40.17 million copies globally as of September 30th, 2022. So that suggests more than 35% of Switch users have purchased the game. That's a huge number, guys, because trust you me, there's a lot of people on this planet. And if 35% of the entirety of Switch users have bought the game, that's a decent amount of people. And I gotta say, for Animal Crossing New Horizons, I congratulate. I say, woo! I hope they get a huge award for it. I don't know. They might not. I hope the Nintendo realizes this huge feat and maybe does like some sort of interesting update. But anyways, next up is Joshua, and Joshua has with us some good story news and of course your very favorite animal news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to You Connect now for a good news story. Teen finds a stolen police medal on the bottom of the river. A retired police officer was heartbroken when thieves stole his exemplary police service medal last year. He was stunned when kind strangers tracked him down after they pulled it from a river. 82-year-old was devastated when burglars entered his home to steal valuables and took the treasured medal that he'd been awarded when he retired 28 years ago. He believed the medal given for 32 years of service with the Northern Hampshire police was lost forever. But the grandfather was overjoyed when he received a call last week saying the medal has been found in a river still in its metal box. Dave Jordan, who uses a large magnet to fish junk out of rivers, had organized another litter cleanup and was joined by Ryan Davenport, a teenage fan of his YouTube channel who brought along his dad to trawl for treasures in the river Nye. The 45-year-old Jordan said they had been pulling things out of the river in Northern Hampton for just 30 minutes when 17-year-old Ryan Davenport fished out a small metal box that has words police long service medal written on it. The medal was engraved with Jeffrey's name and badge number, which they used to track the senior's phone number online. It really was like finding a needle in a haystack, explained Jordan, who is followed by hundreds of fans who subscribe to his magnet fishing channel on YouTube. He and Ryan then plan a visit to reunite the medal with Jeffrey. Jeffrey's wife, Maureen, said, "When I told Jeffrey about the medal being found, his little eyes sparkled and his face lit up. My husband has Alzheimer's and doesn't remember everything. But that medal to say he served for 32 years, but he does remember." Jordan summed up the experience saying, "Finding the medal after doing the good deed we did, that's the message here. This was truly the best reward for cleaning up that rubbish. It's amazing." Now for another good news story. Pyramid made of 20 tons of plastic from Nile River sparks plan to fund massive cleanup. A different sort of Great Pyramid was just built in Egypt's western desert, which, rather than enshrining Pharaoh's glory, draws attention to the issue of plastic pollution. Located just outside Cairo, the immense structure took 5 days to build. It weighs a whopping 20 tons. It's taller than a 3-story building. It is made using the equivalent of 1 million plastic water bottles collected from the Nile River. Led by Zero Waste Company, Zero Co., and wine sellers The Hidden Sea, it seeks to fund large-scale cleanups for the next 100 years and drive accountable for the single-use plastic problem, an initiative called the 100-Year Cleanup. Justin Moran, founder of the company called The Hidden Sea, says that they have removed 18 million plastic bottles from the ocean so far with power of their wine drinkers, because every time their wine bottles is bought, the company removes 10 plastic pieces of rubbish from the ocean. This demonstrates that the consumers simply need a clear way to be part of the solution. To personally mark the launch of 100-Year Cleanup, Zero Co. and Chief Mike Smith will camp out on top of the pyramid for 3 days to call for support from people and businesses to join the movement. "We can't fix the plastic problem alone, but we can give everyone the ability to take action," said Mike Smith, the man at the top of the pyramid. Zero Co. and the Hidden Sea aim to raise $1 million for the 100-year cleanup for the next 12 months, which will remove 15 million water bottles worth of rubbish and drive the initiative's mission. With sufficient funding, the team hopes to build full-time teams in Southeast Asia and Australia. Now turning to animal interest news. New species of owl discovered on tiny island of African coast. A new species of owl has joined the tree of life after having been documented as unique this year, and its Latin name was christened after a cold wildlife caretaker who used to sell parrots to the pet trade. Researchers believe the Principe scops owl is found exclusively on Principe, a tropical island off the west coast of Africa in the Gulf of Guinea. It is called Otus Baike Baikakida. The name was chosen to honor Baikakida, a former harvester of gray parrots on Principe Island who became a guide and eventually a ranger for the natural park. Discovery of the Principe Scops owl was only possible thanks to the local knowledge shared by Baikakida and by its unflinching efforts to solve this long-time mystery, according to the researchers. He was one of the first people to spot the owl while searching for parrot chicks in the early 1990s. Its habitat had a radius of less than 15 square kilometers, but despite its size being only 4 times the size of New York City's Central Park, between 1,000 and 1,500 Principe Scops owls are packed into it. Because they live in such a small area, the researchers say they should be classified as critical endangered, especially because their habitat is reportedly near a small hydroelectric dam, which is being built. On a positive note, the area of the occurrence of the Principe Scops owl is fully included within the Principe Obo Natural Park, which will hopefully help secure its protection. This is Joshua Show reporting for you Connect. That's it for me. Now I'll send it back to you, Aiden.
You know what? Thank you so much, Joshua, for your news. I have to say, guys, you know what? We make it, you know how people make a big deal about plastic? It's a very, very, very serious thing. I mean, the fact that they could make an entire plastic pyramid out of it, really shocking. And I really hope that this organization continues to clean up and keep, reusing and recycling the materials, especially for the plastic. And for everyone else that's here, what did you guys think of Joshua's news? I gotta say, that new owl species is quite something. I could see Miss Judith bouncing up and down in excitement since it is from the African coast.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, the owl one was good. Was good too. I really enjoyed it.
I like the owl. And, the kid found their medal.
Yeah, I love that story. It's like he turned a
Yeah.
hobby
That was a good
and
one too.
and saved his medal, which is just amazing. I love that story.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for your news. Goodness gracious. And thank you so much. Thank you, Joshua. I apologize for names, guys. Get my names mixed up here. I hear
That's
some of
all
these.
right.
Oh my gosh. Did Kevin just
I
speak?
mixed up Kevin's and
Oh,
yeah.
thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. No.
It's okay, it happens.
But seriously, Joshua, your animal news and your good story news is always awesome. It's an amazing part of Youth Connect, and a lot of people really enjoyed it, including myself. It's always interesting to hear, and it's always intriguing to listen to. I bet you a lot of people in the chat right now really enjoy it. Anyways, we got to keep moving on, guys. We got to keep the train keep rolling, and we got to move on to our board game of the week, similar to our video game of the week, but now it's a board game. So get off your digital devices and now pull out the fancy boards for this game of the week called Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. Players will take on a role of a wandering mercenary with their own special set of skills and their own reasons for traveling to this remote corner of the world. Gloomhaven. Players must work together out of necessity to clear out menacing dungeons and forgotten ruins. In the process, they will enhance their abilities with experience and loot, discover new locations to explore and plunder, and expand an ever-branching story fueled by the decisions they make. This is a persistent game that is intended to be played over many game sessions. After a scenario, players will make a decision on what to do, which will determine how the story continues. Kind of like a choose your own adventure kind of book. You can play through in a scenario if it is a cooperative affair where players will fight against automated monsters using an innovative card system to determine the order of play and what a player does on their turn. This game sounds very similar to D&D, and you know what? If you have a game and you're feeling bored and you want kind of like an RPG kind of game, I recommend that you check this board game out. Again, if you want to know what the name is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. Pretty interesting game. I always love a type of game that kind of pulls a D&D RPG kind of system. It's always weird to transfer from video game to board game, but you know what? I don't mind seeing it and checking it out. Anyways, though, if you do check out this game, guys, make sure to comment down below and tell us how you thought of it. And if not, just leave a comment and like down below if you can. But anyways, next up is Nibras, and Nibras is with us some entertainment and podcast news.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys today? My name is Nibras Khan, and I'm here for the entertainment news. Let's get straight into our top story. And the top story is about Canadian Jeopardy champion Mattea Roach is back. Mattea Roach soundly defeated fellow champs Amy Schneider and Matt Amadillo in an exhibition match in the show's Tournament of Champions in Tuesday night. Roach, who has deep ties to Halifax and Toronto, and her competitors all became Jeopardy record holders last season during the long-running show's 38th year. Roach was an underdog of sorts since both Schneider and Amadillo have won more total prizes money and have more conservative games than the Canadian champion. After a 23-game run, she left the game with $560,000 US, which is approximately $753,000 Canadian. The show sent them straight to the semifinals because of their standings, but as host Ken Jennings explained in a promotional video ahead of Tuesday's episode, this means that they didn't get a chance to compete in a quarterfinal match. So this is a rehearsal of sorts for them. While there was no prize money at stake for the exhibition match, Roach's final score was $17,600. Amadillo's were $3,600 and Schneider's was $900. Roach is scheduled to compete again on today, November 11th. That's today, to earn a spot in the best of semifinals. Amazing! Good job! Congrats! So I love the Mattea Roach stories. I've done a few just back a few months ago in the summer, but it's just amazing what she did back in the summer. But I love her stories. I did watch the episode actually. I did know that she was gonna compete, so I did watch the episode. If you did watch the episode, comment down below. And that's all for my top story. First story. If you like that top story, comment down below. And now to my second story. Before I go to my second story, I'd like to give you guys the fact of the day. And today's fact of the day is, drum roll, please. Did you guys know my favorite sport is cricket? Yes, that's true. It's cricket. So since I was very young, I loved cricket, playing cricket, watching cricket. But still, to this day, I still watch cricket. Just amazing sport. So basically, what cricket is basically there are 9 to 11 players. From their 2 innings. So it's similar to baseball, not similar to baseball. So there's a bat. So in baseball, it's a cylinder bat, but in cricket, It's a flat bat. So width can be different, but it's flat. You can check it out, the pictures, and there's a baller. It's a white ball. In baseball, you just have to throw, and it cannot bounce. In cricket, it has to bounce. You can bounce it. If you don't want to bounce it, you can just hit it. So there are wickets. Wickets are three similar cylinder pieces that are attached to in both sides, one in the batter side and one in the bowler side. If the bowler hits the wickets with the ball, the batter's out. So it is different than baseball, but I really hope you check it out. Just check out some images or check out some videos. But I love cricket. Just I'm watching the sport till this day because my family used to watch it when I was a child. So just amazing. So if you like this fact, comment down below. So to now my second story. So my second story is about a podcast. So the podcast name is It's Super Effective. It's Super Effective is a weekly Pokemon podcast that covers news and information on Pokemon Go, the Pokemon anime, and the video games, such as Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, as well as Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. The podcast also talks about battling, shiny hunting, the Pokemon TCG, and in-depth Pokemon trivia. The podcast also reaches out to other media personalities about Pokemon. It's super effective as an award-winning podcast and one of the most downloaded Pokemon-based podcasts on the web. It's super effective is dedicated to bringing unique, creative, and Pokemon content on the internet. So I love this podcast. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Pokemon Go and other Pokemon games. So and they also cover a lot of Pokemon anime episodes. What happened there? They also cover a lot of old episodes. Oh, what happened there? Just information, just summaries. It's just a really good podcast. They talk about games, entertainment, and also if you guys don't know what shiny hunting is, so there's a Pokemon, the normal form, but there's also a shiny form that it's a different color. So that's basically a shiny form. So I love this podcast. I really recommend you guys checking this podcast. I hope you check it out. And that's all from me. As always, this is Nibras Khan from Youth Connect. I'll see you all next week. Thank you. Take care. Back to Eden. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so pretty interesting news. I'm just gonna say, we're gonna have Jeffrey up next, but let's talk about it. Talk about Nebraska's news real quick. I want to say, Nebraska, was the podcast for the Pokemon called Super Effective?
Yeah. It's called Super Effective. It is a different name, so it's a strange name, but it is called It's Super Effective. Again, it's super effective.
I absolutely love that because it's a great resemblance to Pokemon, and it's a really unique name. I always like hearing about people talking about Pokemon because you know what? It's a very underrated genre. A lot of people don't really know about it too well. They know a little bit about it, but you know what? It's always nice to hear a podcast on it because you can always hear people really being excited about it. And also, I did not know that your favorite sport was cricket. I actually, well, this was a bit ago, but a bit ago, I used to do these cricket classes with younger kids because we did this cricket class. So it was so interesting to hear that you love cricket.
Oh yeah, I love it. Since childhood, I love it. I used to play. It's just amazing sport.
I absolutely.
Me too. I like Pokemon.
I agree. Pokemon's great. Also, I should probably ask for everyone that's here, what did you guys think about whole Nebraska's news? I liked it. I really enjoyed the Pokemon one.
Thank you.
It was all very interesting.
Yeah, and I would say that what do you call it, Mateo Roach, Nibras, that was like when you did was like Jeopardy. I was like, yeah, it was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So I want you to get your body ready to move. Get your dancing pants on. Get your fancy pants on. Because now, next up, we have Jeffrey with his live music. Wait.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing great. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy Remembrance Day and happy birthday to my Aunt Daryl. This is the original song that was created by Aiden and myself, and it's called Through the Darkness. How dark today is, tomorrow will capture the light. If not for a minute, an hour or day, let it be another second to become bright. Turn off your sorrow, don't swallow your anger, no matter who you are or how dark. Past is low, your past is today, say no. Just remember to let it go. Tomorrow will capture the light. It's time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and move forward together through the light. Droplets of bright colored rain. All it takes is a little flash of hope and dash of happiness. Glimpse of highlight to break the darkness. To brighten our mood and make things right. Need to work together, holding on so tight. Turn off your sorrow, no matter where you are. It's just you and me and everyone else. Turn off your sorrow, don't swallow your anger. No matter who you are or how dark your past is today, say no. Just remember to let it go. It's time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and move forward together through the pain. Droplets of bright colored rain. How dark today is, tomorrow will capture the light. Not for a minute, an hour or a day, let it be another second to become bright. Turn off your sorrow, don't swallow your anger, no matter who you are or how dark your past is today, say no. Just remember to let it go. Release the pain, say no. Turn off your sorrow, just let it go. Tomorrow will capture the light. It's time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and move forward together through the pain. Droplets of bright colored rain. All it takes is a little flash of hope and dash of happiness. A glimpse of highlight to break the darkness. Brighten our mood and make things right. We need to work together, holding on so tight. Shut off your sorrow, don't swallow your anger. No matter who you are or how dark, just remember to let it go. It's time to stand up again. Hold on to my hand and fight together through the pain. Like droplets of bright colored rain. No matter where you are, it's just you and me and everyone else. Thank you, everyone. This is Jeffrey, your live musician. See you all next week, and it's back to you, Aiden. Bye, everyone.
Now, Jeff, absolutely wonderful. It's always nice to hear your voice, and you know what? The accompaniment of your instrumental with the lyrics is always an amazing sight to behold and to listen to. I absolutely love it. It's always great. And sadly, guys, I know it's you're gonna be sad about this, but we have reached the end of our episode of Youth Connect. If you did like Youth Connect, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click the notification bell.
I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you all next time or next week. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Guys, thanks so much for
Bye.
listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,